I'm Max Pringle with these headlines. The latest government jobs report shows that employers added a surprising 528,000 jobs in July. That restores all the jobs lost in the coronavirus recession as the country's hiring boom continued. Unemployment fell to 3.5%. That's its lowest rate since the pandemic struck in early 2020. July's job creation was up from 398,000 in June. Economists had expected only 250,000 new jobs this month. China today said it's cutting off talks with the U.S. on a range of issues ranging from climate change to anti-narcotics operations to military relations in retaliation for a visit this week to Taiwan by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. The measures also include continued live-fire military operations in the waters off Taiwan. China considers the self-governed island a breakaway territory. FSN's Patrick Falk reports on how China's aggressive war games are ratcheting up tensions in the region.
Well, the state-run Global Times has been detailing extensively what the military actions are about and what weaponry and other assets have been deployed. And one of the things that's talked about today is how the missiles that were fired from China over Taiwan the day before showed that China had the ability to hit targets in the Philippine Sea like aircraft carriers that may try to intervene. That was without a shadow of a doubt a reference to the USS Ronald Reagan, which has been ordered by the Pentagon to remain in that area to monitor the situation.
That's Patrick Falk reporting. Senate Democrats and conservative Arizona Democrat Kyrsten Sinema have reached an agreement on a big climate, healthcare, and tax bill going through the reconciliation process. That means it could pass with only a simple majority with all Democrats on board. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York says lawmakers have lined up the votes after a compromise that will receive the support of all Democrats in the chamber. Sinema reportedly had concerns over a carried interest tax provision of the bill that's been removed as part of the compromise. No Republican is expected to support the bill, which is considered a big part of President Biden's legislative agenda. The Kremlin says it's open to talking about a possible prisoner exchange involving American basketball star Brittany Griner, but strongly warned Washington against publicizing the issue. A judge convicted Griner Thursday of drug possession and smuggling and sentenced her to 9 years in prison. Secretary of State Antony Blinken spoke last week to Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov about a trade to free Griner. Moscow would exchange Griner and U.S. citizen Paul Whelan, who is being held on espionage charges, for Russian arms dealer Victor Bout. Lavrov said Moscow was ready to discuss a prisoner swap, but that President Joe Biden and Russian President Vladimir Putin only could talk about a deal via confidential channels. 3 more ships carrying thousands of tons of grain have left Ukrainian ports. The shipments are the latest sign that a negotiated deal to export grain trapped since Russia invaded Ukraine nearly 6 months ago is slowly moving forward. Under an agreement between the UN, Russia, Ukraine, and Turkey, the shipments must first go to Istanbul for inspections from all 4 parties before moving on to their final port of call. Ukraine and Russia are major food suppliers to much of the world, and the shipments are seen as a way to avoid a mounting world food crisis. Immigrant rights advocates in Washington state will today mark the 5-year anniversary of the death of an immigrant farm worker who died while working in extreme heat. Activists say if more immigrants had somewhere to go to access information about things like labor rights, these kinds of tragedies could be avoided. Eric Tegedoff has more.
Honesta Silva Ibarra died in 2017 while working in triple-digit heat. The vigil is at Bellingham City Hall today. Tara Vilyaba lives in the community and is a member of the Immigration Advisory Board, which is asking the city to fund an immigrant resource center. She says it's important to have a place where people can use their first language and also build up community in their new homes.
Access to resources is so full of barriers, especially for new immigrants. When English is not your first language, when you don't know where you're going to need to go to get a driver's license, how are you going to register to vote? People who have lived here a long time, that knowledge they take for granted.
I'm Eric Tegedoff.
And I'm Max Pringle.